Well, it finally happened. She finally got to the point in history that she couldn't ignore. So it had to happen. It didn't happen the way I envisioned. Her involvement wasn't the way I envisioned. There were a lot of things in this book I had to go back and check a few times. Like, huh? I missed that part. I had to go back and there was, I mean, they're insignificant little nitpicking, but it was a couple times with this particular individual, a few times. And be prepared for spoilers. Lots of spoilers. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Carrios, Tina. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music. And I've got to take a 24-hour trip, and I don't want to go, and it's driving me crazy. Oh, by the time this video is, I'll be home, but still. I'm just going bonkers. Smokey's driving me bonkers. She's addicted to a brush. Oops, I didn't bring the brush over here. I should have brought the brush over here. I didn't bring it. I'm a bad mother. But, come here. You left the brush, Mom? She's addicted. We got this new brush, and she is massively addicted. Massively. You know, you see those movies about drug addicts? I gotta have my fix. I gotta have my fix. I gotta have my fix. Brush me, mommy. Brush me, mommy. Brush me, mommy. Brush me, mommy. Touching my arm, nudging my hand. Brush me, mommy. Brush me, mommy. Brush me, mommy. Every morning. Gotta brush. Gotta brush. Gotta brush. And then she tries to bite it. I'm like, no, you can't bite it. She likes the side of her cheek. She likes this part. She loves the brush on this part. So, yes, ma'am. Yes. You're gonna miss me? I'm gonna be gone for 24 hours. It's gonna feel like a week. It's gonna feel like a week. Actually, it's gonna feel like 5 weeks. My husband keeps telling me to stop exaggerating. It's gonna feel like weeks, months, years, decades. You're gonna have to get all your loving from Daddy for a couple days. For 25 years. Alright, so we are on book 19. Forest of Secrets. And it's a little on the creepy side. It's on the creepy side. Creepy side. It's not, and you know, the last book, Ursula spent most of the book sick. She got sick a few times, various reasons, but she got sick. This time, it's Broccoli that gets sick. Several times. And you know, earlier in the series, the last couple books, Fiona has skipped years. Now, you know, usually, like with J.D. Robb, now, the series has been going, she's going into over 60 books now, sorry. And, it's only been about 3-4 years in the characters' lives. In this series, it's been like 20 years in the character's life. In some of the books, there have been years span, 6-year span. There was one book that was a 6-year span between books. And she's aging Ursula to the point where Ursula can't really do these missions anymore. She's in her 60s and 70s now. And I know this series goes to at least 23. And I think there's a 24th coming out in the next couple weeks, so we'll get there. So, and I know other people start to die. I know, according to history, Walsingham and Cecil are gonna die in the next 10 years or less. So anyways, and we've got a whole bunch of, I had to do my cast list this book, and I should have printed it out. I should have printed it out. Hold on. So, my list of characters. There's only. I didn't keep track of them all. My lighting is so bad. If anybody knows how to fix this, let me know. 25 characters. And this isn't even all of them. This is just a few of them. So, this lady, and this is the person I have conflicts with, because there is I don't. All right, let me back up here because I okay. So Ursula's at home. She's enjoying her life at home. And this girl shows up at her house. And she's got a Etherelda. For my purposes, we're going to call her Ethel. It's a long name. I apologize. You can read the book for Etherelda. But for my purposes, we'll call her Ethel. And so she shows up and she says, I've heard of you. I've heard of all your exploits. Can you help me? I need your help. My husband has died, and the town people are accusing me of witchcraft. And first, why not just offer her? She's come to your house. She's got all her belongings. She's got her animals. And she's up. The town is upset because her donkey gave birth to a horse, or a horse, a baby horse, a foal. They call it a foal. And sorry. Yes, ma'am. And the town people think she's a witch. So, all right, yeah, I know it's plotline, but a part of me's like, no biting. A part of me's like, why not just offer her shelter? Find her someplace in the neighborhood, find her a place, set her up with a farm, get her situated. She can do. No! They tell her to go home. And then they're going to show up as visitors, having met her. And it's such a convoluted thing. They send her home. And Ursula goes to Walsingham, and Walsingham says, while you're there, could you check out this other mission? So she's going with these two missions. So they go back to this woman's place, and he sets her up with Sir Henry's, and he tells her to go stay at Sir Henry's house. Rich guy has a big house. So Eddie, the groom, and Bess is her newest maid, and Hannah is a maid of hers, and Hawthorne is, well, you really don't have to, he's a cook, and Phoebe's a housemaid, and Marjorie's a maid, and Tessie's a maid, and Nettie's a maid. We don't see too much of Gladys in this book. We could have used Gladys in this book quite a few times. Why we chose to leave Gladys home, well, she probably would have been an antagonist and probably would have drove people bonkers. So then we have Sir Henry Compton, who Walsingham tells her to go stay with him. So she goes, stays with him. And why? He's the big cheese in town. And why doesn't he assist Ursula in any of her procedures? I can't think of the word right now. Why doesn't he help her? He just stands on the sidelines and lets her do what she wants to do. He doesn't offer assistance in any way, shape, or form. And that's irritating as all hell. And then, the townspeople gather up a mob, and they're at this chick's house, and they're hurting her foal and her horse, her donkey, and they end up killing her neighbor who was supporting her in things. And so Hope, her name is Ethel, Ethelrelda Hope is her full name. So Ethel comes back to Sir Henry's. And why Sir Henry doesn't allow her to stay in his house, I don't know. Just because he thought she was below him. That drove me nuts. He should be offering her shelter. If it was Ursula's house, should be offering Ethel shelter. But no, he's like, well, I went and talked to those people, and now she can go without worry of harm. Because I talked to those people. I'm a big hotshot. I talked to those people. Yeah. So then they're going to burn the stupid woman at the stake. And and in the meantime of all this, Ursula gets to know the vicar. And the vicar develops a tendred, whatever the hell you want to call it, with Mildred, one of her maids. And Mildred was the one from the last book who had the Puritan parents. And I spent the whole book, Ursula was sick the whole book. But I knew that there were future books, and I didn't have to worry about Ursula. I knew she was going to recover. So I spent the whole book worrying about Mildred. And I told you all that in the last video, that I spent the whole book worrying about Mildred. So here we are with Mildred again, and she takes a fancy to the vicar, to Daniel. And Daniel has a son, and Daniel's first wife is deceased. She died supposedly in childbirth. But as the story goes on, I begin to suspect that may not have been the case. And there are a couple of hints to Daniel's actual identity, self-identity. Ursula has some misgivings about the guy, some inner gut, my gut tells me, and sorry, sinus drip. And Dale says, there's something about him. I don't know what it is, but there's something about him. Well, that should warn you. That's a huge, big warning. Spoiler alert. Because there is something about the guy. So, they end up allowing Mildred to marry the guy. So Mildred marries the guy, and she's all happy for a while. And, but this thing with Ethel, this other thing with Ethel, poor Ethel, they keep sending her home. And I lose track of her sometimes. I had to go back and check, and I found one reference. And I might have to go back again, because I know I missed it. I know I seriously missed it. But at some point, they put Ethel with this other couple. And I don't know if I wrote it down. And I'm like, oh, these people came out of the blue. There was no preparation. There was no introduction to these people. You didn't meet these people on stage. I have this author that explains it, that if you're sitting down to lunch with the two people, and they're discussing, oh, this chicken salad is good, or this hamburger is good, and we're discussing our day, you're on stage and you're witnessing it. If you said, oh, me and Johnny had lunch the other day and we talked about blah, 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 that's off stage. And I don't know where these people came from, but I don't think I wrote down the page number. But all of a sudden, Ethel is staying with them. And the foal goes missing after it gets caught up in a ceremony, and it goes missing. And I'm like, where did these people come from? Where? I didn't write the page down. Sorry. I wish I had. But, all of a sudden, she's staying with these people. We never met these people. We've never seen these people on stage. And then later on in the book, she's back with Ursula. And it was just, I mean, there were little itty bitty nitpicking. I'm sorry about that, but I lost track of Ethel. She was like the main point of the story for so long. And then there were so many inconsistencies with her story. 1 minute she's by her house. 1 minute she's in Sir Hampton's house. Then she's in this other people's houses. And why didn't she just stay with those other peeps? I don't know. I had to go looking for it. I was like, huh? And then she ends up back with Ursula again. And I'm like, huh? And there's a couple of twisty turnies at the end you didn't see coming. But, it just, there was just a couple, let me see something. Okay. My pal has taken up residence. There she is. So, alright, so this is my issue. So, Ethel here is our main character and our main point of contention the entire book. Well, no, actually for the first half of the book. Then all of a sudden we lose her. Alright, so my first contention is, I had to look these up. Now this girl they've almost, why would you go back? Why in hell would you go back? If you are frightened for your life, if your neighbor's been killed, why would you go back? Etheldra didn't hear this herself. In Sir Henry's mind, she was not of sufficient status to sit at his table. And they make her sit in the kitchen with the other servants in his house, and then in Daniel's house too. She has to sit in the kitchen for dinner. So that's twice she's treated below a servant. And Sir Henry insists. She was reluctant to go home, but Sir Henry insisted she went back on Thursday. I sent Eddie to escort her. When he came back, he said that Master Argy had seen them arrive and met them in the street to tell them that Mrs. Hope would be quite safe. Sir Henry had made it plain that she had better be. Master White was to be buried that afternoon. So, they send her back. They send her back. And then we lose track of her for like so many chapters. That was chapter 9. Right? In chapter 17. Now, it doesn't, I was like, what happened to Ethra? We haven't heard from her in such a long time. We don't know how they met. We don't know what the circumstances were. These people are never on screen that I can recall. I may be mistaken. Etheldra was safe for the time being. It seems that in the past she had met and made friends with Mistress Robbins, the wife of the Minstead vicar, and now she took shelter with the Robbins family. Sir Henry was presumably aware that Buckley had been to Lammas meeting, but he had asked no questions. He might well come to hear that Etheldra was in Minstead, having once more fled from an accusation of witchcraft, and that might make him angry, but he wouldn't be unduly surprised. That annoys the hell out of me, that they just tossed this chick around like that. And if she had been killed, I would have blamed Sir Henry. You are powerful enough, you are rich enough, your house is big enough, you can offer her safety for a while. And then, of course, this thing that you've waited 19 books for, we finally get they finally, in all this stuff with Hope, Ethel, Miss Hope, and all the stuff that goes on with Mildred, we finally get evidence against Mary Stuart. And the end of Mary Stuart has occurred. They have finally have evidence, and they finally send her to the chopping block. And she is now deceased. And Elizabeth makes Ursula watch so Ursula can report back to Elizabeth. And it's heart-wrenching that Mary's dog wants to go with her. That's a little heart-wrenching pull the strings scene. It's just you can read the historical account of the whole thing. It's all out there. There's a couple of videos online too that I've seen. So that's how book 19 ends. Shall we get to 20? Aww. My child is sleepies. Have a good day. It's gonna be a long one. Don't forget Flashback Mondays. Have a good one.